Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made this underbust corset top with puff sleeves. Please keep on watching and let's get started. This top is for a size 14 and my dress form is from size 6 to 10. That is why it is looking very big on the dress form. I have my Ankara fabric here and it is about 2 yards, and I'll also be using lining for this top. You can use any fabric of your choice, and the last thing you'll be needing is a zip. I am starting with the front pattern and I already have a line marked across the paper, and that line will serve as the shoulder line. The next measurement I'll mark is the shoulder to the chest line, which is 9 inches. Before I continue with the vertical measurement, I'll mark 1.5 inches by the side of the paper, and that will be for the zip allowance. Remember, this top has a zip in front, so I'm marking out the 1.5 inches allowance by the side of the paper, and I'll connect with a straight line. I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder to the bust line, which is 11 inches, and I'll connect with a straight line. Next, I'll mark the shoulder to the underbust, which is 14 inches, and the last measurement I'll be marking is from the shoulder to the waistline, which is 17 inches. One quick tip for this top is that if your shoulder to the waistline is 16 inches, you are going to add 1 inch to make it 17, and if it is 15 inches, you are going to add 1 inch to make it 16. I went in with the shoulder measurements divided by 2 plus 0.5 inch, and I marked it on the shoulder line and also on the chest line, and I connected it with a ruler. I will use a neck width of 3.5 and a neck depth of 9 inches. The neck depth depends on your preference. This one is stopping on the chest line, so you can decide to make it lower than this 9 inches depending on what you want. Here I am extending the zipper allowance to the neckline. I'll come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slant, and I'll connect it back into the neckline. The next measurement I'll be marking now is the bust measurements divided by 4, and I'll mark it on the chest line. I'll go up by 3 inches, and from that 3 inches mark, I'll come out by 0.75, and I'll connect those 3 points together to form the armhole. On the waistline, I'll mark the waist measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance for that, and I'll connect with a straight line. For the basket effect in front of the top, I'll extend the center point line by 5 inches and I'll connect to the side. If you want yours to be a V shape, go ahead and connect with a straight line, but I don't want mine to be a V shape. So now I'm just extending the zip allowance to the other line, and I'll cut out from the underbust line. I'll cut out the rest of the parts that are not needed, then I can now work on the underbust pattern. I added 1 inch allowance for that to this pattern, and now I want to take in the darts. So I'll go ahead now and mark the nipple to nipple measurements divided by 2, and I'll connect it with a straight line. Please make sure you don't start marking from the zipper allowance. I'll go in by ½ inch on both sides and I'll connect with a straight line. So I'm taking it in on the entire pattern, and I'm just going to close the darts like so, and I'll use a masking tape to hold it down. After closing the dart, you will notice a shortage. You're just going to connect with the curve back like you see me doing, and I'll cut out the rest of the patterns now. On the upper part, we are going to be doing a little bit of slash and spread, so I'll get the midpoint at that line there, and at the shoulder line also I'll get the midpoint, and I'll connect those 2 points together with a straight line. I will cut it open but not entirely to the end, and I'll be spreading it out on the fabric. I have placed my pattern on fabric now, and the space I have in between the spread is 3 inches. So go ahead and pin your pattern on fabric and make sure to add all the necessary allowance to the top and bottom. The space I have in between the spread is about 3 inches. So you can decide to make it 2 inches or even 1 inch. It depends on what you want, but mine is 3 inches. And I'm adding my allowance to the top and bottom of the pattern. For the side allowance, I am adding 1.5 inches. So go ahead and add all your allowances. This is for the down part of the front pattern, and I'm just going to add allowance to the top and bottom of the pattern. And also for the side joining, I'll add the same 1.5 inches I added to the upper part. So I'm just going to mark it out and add ½ inch to the top and bottom of the pattern, and I'll cut it out. This is the back pattern, and I'm just going to go ahead and label this first line I have on the paper as the shoulder line. The next measurement I'll mark now is from the shoulder to the chest line, which is 9 inches. And after that, I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder to the waistline, which is at 17 inches. And I'll connect all those points with a straight line. I'll go in with the shoulder measurements divided by 2 plus ½ inch allowance, and I'll mark it on the shoulder line and chest line, and I'll connect with a ruler. For the back neckline, I'll use a neck depth of 1 inch, and the neck width is still the same thing as the front, which is 3.5. I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant, and I'll connect it back into the neckline. For this top, the zip is going to be in the front. There's no need to add zip allowance to the back pattern. So what I want to do here is to tighten the center back to eliminate any bulginess at the back of the top. So I'm going to go in by 0.75 on the waistline, and I'll connect it somewhere above the chest line with a straight line. I'll go in with the bust measurements divided by 4, and I'll mark it on the chest line. From the shoulder slant, I'll divide what I have left into 2 and get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by 0.25, and I'll connect those 3 points together to form the armhole. On the waistline, I'll mark the waist measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance for that, and I'll connect it to the chest line. I'll go in with the bust span measurements divided by 2. I'll mark it on the waistline and also on the chest line, and I'll connect with a ruler. I'll come down by 1 inch, and that is where the dart will end, and I'll take in ½ inch on both sides of the dart leg, and I'll connect it. This is all on the back pattern. I'll cut it out now. I have placed the back pattern on fabric now, and I'm just going to add the ½ inch allowance at the top and bottom of the pattern, and for the side joining I'll add 1.5 inches. There's going to be a joining at the center back, so I'll add ½ inch to the center back for joining allowance. So go ahead and add yours too. Here I am transferring the darts on the pattern to the fabric, so go ahead and transfer it and take note of the length of the darts you'll be taking in. And also mark out the center back so that you can join it together to form one piece. I have cut out my lining piece for the front, and this is what we have. So go ahead and cut out your lining same way you cut out the fabric. I added interfacing to the main fabric. It is totally optional if you don't want to add interfacing to the main fabric. Don't forget that the zip is in front. I'll go ahead and run a gather stitch on the upper part of the front. After running the gather stitch, I'll bring it back and show you. So here it is now. I'm just going to pick the upper thread and start pulling to form a little bit of gathers. Make sure that while pulling you concentrate the gathers to the center. Position it to where the boobs will sit. So that is what I am doing here. After pulling the gathers, I'll go ahead and join the upper part and the down part together. Please forgive the way I positioned the down part of this top. I turned it the other way. Please make sure to match the center front of the upper part to that of the down part. Whatever I do to the main fabric, I am going to repeat the same process for the lining. I have joined the front pieces now, and this is what we have, and I have also done the same thing to the lining. I'll go ahead now and use the lining to turn the neckline and also the zip area. I'm going to use the lining to turn it, and after doing that I'll bring it back. This is the back pieces, and I also added interfacing to it. So I'll go ahead now and join the center back and also take in my darts. I'll repeat the same process for the lining. This is after I was done turning the neckline of the front pieces with the lining. And the next thing I'll do now is to use the lining to turn the down part, just the way I am showing you. Go ahead and turn the down part with the lining also. And for the back piece, I have joined the center back and I've also taken in the darts, and I've done the same thing to the lining. I'll go ahead now and use the lining to turn the neckline and also the down part, and I'll bring it back and show you. This is what we have after I was done, and I went ahead to iron it properly. So go ahead and iron your fabric properly too. And for the back of the top, this is what we have. I'll go ahead now and join the shoulder of both the front and the back together. I'll join it on the shoulder, and I'll also join it on the sides. So join the sides together with the allowance you left, and also join the shoulder. I am pinning it together now, and once I am done pinning, I'll go over to the sewing machine. If you have watched up to this point and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button and please turn on your notification bell. I'll go ahead now and fix the zip to the front part of the top. I am done fixing the zip now, and the last thing for this top is to cut out the sleeves. I have my basic long sleeve pattern here. If you don't know how to cut a basic sleeve pattern, I'll put the link in the description box so that you can watch it and know how I made mine. So I'm just going to be drawing slash lines on this pattern. There is no measurement for this part. Just make sure that you have slash lines drawn out on the pattern. You can leave a space of 1.5 inches in between the lines. After drawing the lines, I'm just going to cut it out, but not entirely out. I am just going to cut it up to the tip. I have folded my remaining fabric into 4 so that I can get my 2 sleeves at once. So go ahead and spread as much as you want. You can spread as much as your fabric can take. So I am pinning my pattern on fabric now, and once I am done pinning, I am just going to cut it out. You can measure out the space in between each of the patterns. For mine, I have about 4 inches in between each of the patterns, so go ahead and mark out yours and cut it out. I have my 2 sleeves cut out here, and what I'm just going to do now is to go ahead and fold the down part of the sleeve because I'm going to be adding elastic to the sleeve. I am about to fix the elastic to the sleeve now. I have folded it in, and now I am just going to cut out the elastic using the round waist measurement of the client. The round waist measurement of the client is 9 inches, so I'm just going to move 1 inch or 2 from that 9 inch and cut out about 7 inches for the elastic, and I'm going to fix it in. Yeah, I am done fixing in the elastic, and I'm just going to go ahead and join the side of the sleeve. But before I join the side, I'm going to take into consideration the armhole on the body of the top. So now measure out the armhole and know what you have there, and that same measurement you are going to mark it out on the sleeve. So once you are done marking it out on the sleeve, you start joining from the point you marked all the way down. So that is what I am going to do now, and after joining the side, I'm just going to attach it to the top. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, leave a comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Please turn on your notification bell so that you will get notified whenever I upload a new video. Please follow me on Instagram at stitchedbyst, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.